What's up, guys? Um, this is Coop C&T Designs again, and I'm in for another video. So let me get rid of some stuff on the screen here to get it out of my way. What we're going to be doing tonight, I'm going to shoot a couple different videos. Two of these videos are about these safe storage laws that are proposed in the Congress right now. One of them, I skipped over, now I'm getting back to it. This is Sheila Jackson Lee, the HB 130. This bill is absolutely insane. And what we've got here is a ATF agent pointing a gun, probably going to shoot your dog and shoot you and your family. Because as we'll see in this bill, anybody could report you for possibly not storing a firearm properly, and the ATF is going to come visit your home. So let me throw a screen share up here, and we'll just share. Where's just my full screen share? Let's do this first and we'll see. And we can get through this. Okay, if any of you guys want to know where I'm actually going to get the information on US code, this is it, Cornell Law School. This is where I go to pull up the full text of a law, and you'll see this is 18 USC chapter 44. This is basically all the firearms law, or some of the firearms law. And this is where you'll find 921 definitions, 922 unlawful acts, 923 licensing, 924 penalties, 25 exceptions, 925A remedies. All this stuff is here. If you just look up 18 USC chapter 44, you'll probably get a site like this. And I would hang to something like Cornell Law, another very known site. So I'll tell you what, hold on, let me bring that back up. And let's go to congress.gov and let's go ahead and, there it is right there. And let's go ahead and do HR 30 or 130. And we want to look in the current Congress, just in legislation. Let's see, that became a law. Legislation. Oh man, it's going to do this crap. Okay, so here it is. All right, this is the Kimberly Vaughn Safe Storage Act of 2021. And I've got the original text, or the text of this bill, copied over to a Word document. I just want to show you guys where I find it. So this is congress.gov. This is basically historical record for what's being done in the Congress. And we're gonna really poke through this bill. So let's see, this is another January 4th bill. And for some reason, I think I'm missing some bills because there's a huge lapse in between this and the next bill. And I know that there wasn't, but some bills, once they're renamed, will actually change dates sometimes from what I've seen. So again, we're stuck on January 4th for the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So at least 9 videos. I know I broke a couple videos up, but at least 9, say 9 bills, I guess. And again, this is Sheila Jackson Lee, and this woman is absolutely insane. So let's drop this, drop here, and I should already have these open. Okay, so this is the text of her bill. All I did was copied and pasted it over so I could work off this document and then copy everything from Cornell. So this was introduced January 4th. This is by Sheila Jackson Lee, who is absolutely insane. And this bill is to require the safe storage of firearms and ammunition, and to require the investigation and reports of improper storage of firearms or ammunition. And that is a key thing in her bill. And we'll get down to this as we go. So the short title of this bill, this is section 1, and the way they lay these things out. I don't think she's got any findings in this bill. So the act may be cited as a Kimberly Vaughn Firearm Safe Storage Act. Section 2, this is the prohibition on improper storage of firearms and ammunition. Now, this is where she gets into, this is the first part of this bill. They go to section 922 of Title 18 U.S. Code. This is chapter 44. And they add this doozy in. So this goes to, let me get over to 922. So 922, let me go all the way to the top so you guys can kind of see. So a 922 defines unlawful acts with a firearm. And there's hordes of stuff in here that shouldn't even exist, but this is the code. So 18 USC code 922, unlawful acts. She adds her section all the way down here at the bottom. And yes, this is all 922 unlawful acts. She adds in section AA. This, for some reason, this is one of their favorite designations when they put in one of these laws. So section AA1A of section 922, it shall be unlawful for a person to store or keep any firearm or ammunition. And this is where I tell you guys, they use the interstate commerce clause for all this crap. Any firearm or ammunition that is moved in or that has otherwise affected interstate or foreign commerce. The federal government has no authority to regulate firearms, but they use a commerce clause to do so. In another bill, I think the next bill, they actually dig into it a little bit more. But to store a firearm that's moved into commerce on the premises of a residence under the control of a person, if that person knows or reasonably should know. Now, who defines what is reasonable for a person to know but the lawyers and the government? Reasonably should know that an individual who has not attained 18 years of age is likely to gain access to the firearm or ammunition without the permission of the parent or guardian of the individual. Now, I want to hit on that real quick because a lot of us were raised around guns. A lot of us are responsible with firearms, and a lot of us are raising children to be responsible with firearms. There are many shooters out there that compete in firearms competitions, that practice every day, who don't ask their parents every day to go grab their competition gun and go shoot. They might do it on their own property. In many cases, young people go out and they hunt any chance they get. They don't have to ask their parents for permission. They go and grab their hunting gun and they go out and hunt. In some cases, and this is just for people who are absolutely stupid to highlight some things. New York Post, 14-year-old shoots a robber. This was at a pizza joint. Place was getting robbed. 14-year-old grabbed a gun, engaged a robber, put a robber down. Global News, 12-year-old shoots home invader. This was ABC News, 11-year-old shoots home intruder. KPRC2 Houston, teen girl shoots home intruder. All of these children were, and I call them children because obviously they're very young. All of them are under the age of 18. All of them had access to a firearm. All of them stopped something bad from happening because intruders were coming in to harm them. Sheila Jackson Lee's bill, once we get to the penalties, you will see she wants to put you in jail for 20 years and fine you $100,000 if something like that happens. Let's see. Let's get back to this. Parent or guardian of the individual or an individual who resides in the residence is ineligible to possess a firearm under federal law or federal, state, or local law. Now, we already went through that there are a lot of people who are caught up in the background check systems who are considered prohibited purchasers but have not committed felonies, not committed domestic violence, not committed a misdemeanor worthy of up to a year in jail. They're just caught up in the system. So someone like that being around a firearm, this bill wants to lock you up for it. Section B of this, subparagraph A, shall not apply to any person with respect to a firearm or ammunition. They got their wording screwed up here. This isn't me. The firearm, if the person keeps the firearm and ammunition, and listen to this, this is their key, secured, comma, unloaded, comma, and separately in a safe certified by the Attorney General and locked with a trigger lock on top of all that, and that trigger lock has to be certified by the Attorney General, or you store it off the premises at a storage facility or a gun range certified by the Attorney General. These people, oh man, they make my freaking brain hurt, and the people who vote for them make my brain hurt even worse. They want to have such control over your personal actions, your personal life, your personal space, that if you do something that they think is improper, and we'll get into this in this bill, where they want people with guns to show up to your house, put you and all of your family face down at gunpoint. And then I think I'm getting off my notes a little bit, but I think, and confiscate all of your property. Let's see. Now, I think that was into this one. So we got to get into, let's go back to the main bill. So that takes care of the 922 section of this bill. Now we come down and we get into 924, which is the penalties in this. So to actually read that, let's see, we flip over to 924. Oh, and this is a freaking doozy. So 924, this section is added in after, I think, 924Z, her penalties for unsafe storage of firearms. And notice there's no provision in here for you to have a firearm in the home loaded for self-defense, even if it's under your control. There's no provision in here for that at all. So let's get into the 924. This is 8A, paragraph I. Whoever in a civil action is found to have violated section 922AA, which is what we just read a minute ago, which is the actual crime, with respect to a firearm, and the violation is not found to have resulted in the discharge of a firearm, they shall be fined not more than $5,000. So if it's found out that your under 18 teenager has access to your gun and they take it out and clean it, they're handling that firearm, and that's a $5,000 fine. No one's hurt, nothing happened. They took it out, cleaned it, just because they had possession of it. That's $5,000. Section II. Whoever in a criminal action is found to have violated section 922AA, which again is the actual crime, with respect to a firearm, and the violation is found to have resulted in the discharge of a firearm, shall be fined not less than $50,000, not more than $100,000, and or imprisoned not more than 20 years, or both. So let me get this straight, you fucking dumbasses who vote for this shit. I can be at work. My 16-year-old has access to firearms because they go out and shoot. They might go out and shoot squirrels. The minute that child, young man, young woman, obtains that firearm, and they don't have to have my permission, they have access to that firearm. They go out in the backyard. They pull the trigger on that gun. They shoot a squirrel. This doesn't mention anything about anybody being injured. it says if they discharge the firearm, that's $50,000 to $100,000 and 20 years in prison. Tell me this crazy heifer has not lost her mind. All right, let's get down to B before I absolutely lose it. On conviction of a person for violating section 922 AA with respect to a firearm or ammunition. Again, this doesn't mention anything about someone being hurt or anything. This is my younger son, my younger daughter, being able to go grab their 22, being able to go grab a gun if they need one to defend themselves. There's 4 stories I Googled in less than 2 minutes that all show that children under 18 years of age have used firearms to defend their homes. That's 4 stories easily found. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I hate these people are your enemies. They want you dead and disarmed. All right, let me get back. Section B. On conviction of a person for violating 922A, the court shall order the Attorney General to seize and store the firearms or ammunition at the expense of the owner of the firearm or ammunition. So not only do they get to fine you, they get to imprison you, but then they get to charge you when they take your guns and fucking store them. And people vote for these people. All right, they got to store them at a facility that is certified by the Attorney General for the safe storage of firearms or ammunition, and that facility can't be owned, leased, or controlled by the person or the owner of the firearm or ammunition, or by any person who is a relative of or associated with the person or the owner. In other words, it is going to a government facility. It is going to be stored and destroyed. Obviously, it's been complicated or confiscated. You are in prison. You are a prohibited person or prohibited possessor now. There's nothing that says you can transfer this over to your family. Your shit's gone. You're in prison. All right. Certification of safes and storage facilities, Part C of this. Within 1 year after the date of enaction of this act, the Attorney General shall provide for the certification of safes, safe storage facilities for firearms and ammunition. Tell me this son bitch won't find the most expensive thing you can store safe with and say you have to have that particular item to have guns, which will price 98% of the American people out of owning firearms. The effective date. The amendments made by this section shall take effect 1 year after the date of enactment of this act. If this act's so important, why isn't it going in the day you enact it? If it's going to save lives, why isn't it so important? Now, here we get into this. Section E, investigation of reports for improper storage of firearms and ammunition, beginning with the effective date of the amendments made by this section. So the day this shit goes in, the Attorney General, before you have the safes, before they approve the safes, this section goes in. The Attorney General, through the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, shall investigate all reports that a person is improperly storing a firearm or ammunition. So if someone says they think you're not storing your firearms properly, or you have ammunition in your bedroom drawer, like I do, because sometimes it ends up in my pockets when I'm hunting, it gets dumped out with my change. Well, then the ATF gets to kick in my door. Let's kill this real fast because I'm going to show the thing again. So the ATF gets to kick in my door, put guns on my family, shoot my damn dog, put me in prison. Tell me I'm not ill at this point with these people. They are your enemies. They care nothing for the Constitution, nothing for freedom. I'm sorry, I can't be as nice as like Jared from Guns and Gear, 2AEDU, and some of these other guys. I'm not going to go out and get stupid, but I'm just trying to tell you people, wake up. These people are your enemies. They want you disarmed and dead. And the next bill I'll read on safe storage ain't much better. All right, guys, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Try to handle something with humor, because this is just, it's the only way I can wrap my mind around some of it. It's crazy at this point. It is absolutely insane. And they're going to try to push a lot of this through. We're up against the 2022 midterms. They are already pushing today, and I listened to a lot of it while I was at work, earphone in, C-SPAN on my phone. That's not good for your health. But actually listening to debates on the voting rights bill, they are going to kill the filibuster. They are going to push through the Voting Rights Act, which is going to give federal control over elections. If they actually get that through, I don't know what's going to happen. They will be able to pass every piece of legislation that you think is so crazy it would never pass. Within 5 years after that, they're going to pass it. All right, guys, I'm out. Y'all be cool. I'll see you on the next one.